Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. It's now time to review the newspaper headlines. And we'll begin with This Day newspaper.
Absolutely. This day on Saturday, the newspaper of record. Interesting stories on the cover of This Day on Saturday today. If we take it from top to bottom, the window story says Nigeria's GDP expands by 4.07% in Q4 of 2025 on strong non-oil performance. And the riders' economy grew by 3.87% in full year 2025. And not quite the target, but not a bad attempt at all. And then Wale Edun, the Honorable Minister for Finance, is saying that performance underscores strengthening macroeconomic stability. So that's the government giving itself a pat on the back, saying that the economy grew, maybe not up to 4.5 that they were expecting, but at 3.8% in the full year of 2025. That was not a bad idea at all, particularly given that the GDP also expanded by 4.0% in quarter 4 of 2025. If there's an improvement in the first quarter of this year, the economy will have performed better. Of course, people will still say, let's see more of that translates, to people's pockets and their well-being, given what rent is saying, given what people have to deal with in everyday living. The story, under that story, which is directly on top of the masthead, is about what we've been talking, about all day. Tinubu pushes urgent constitution amendment for state police. And I think that Senator Arishe did a good job breaking it down, to your question, to him. And he said that in a matter of months is something that can be achieved, at least from the point of law, using Section 214 of the Constitution, which basically means that if you're able to change that, then that aspect of the Nigerian Police Act makes it, it gives it into the concurrent list, no longer exclusive list. But of course, it doesn't stop there. There will have to be a public hearing. It will go to State Houses of Assembly. And then when all that is done, it will now be a question of the capacity of the states to let it fly, which is where many people might have an issue as to how fast can the states do that, given that if you look at what has happened to Electricity Act, for example, which now allows states to generate and distribute their own electricity. The law has been passed since, by President Tinubu, but only Abia State, as of today, has done that. So if there's state police by law, how many states this year or even next year will have the financial capacity and the political will to actually say, we will employ 5,000 or 10,000 or 15,000 police officers, that we will have to be paying for, even though Senator Arishe says that maybe the federal government will be obliged to give them some form of takeoff grant, to kickstart it. But of course, it's an agitation that everybody is talking about. I think The Guardian also leads with that story today, that you cannot ignore the agitation for state police. A few other stories, the one that you will call the second lead in the balance of, print journalism. PDP ranks further depletes as Venturi officials 14 LGAs defect to APC. We wish you good luck, former party tells governor. And then 25 Osho PDP assembly members join Accord Party. With Venturi and Adamawa joining the APC, that brings the total number of governors in the camp of APC to 30, leaving 6 to the opposition. I did inform Mr. Akinyoshitoko that at a time in this country, PDP did control 31 state governors momentarily before they lost a few to the courts, through the courts to ACN, and then ultimately a few other states were lost, through elections, which now brought their number to the 26 that he was talking about. But as of today, APC has not matched the record that PDP created in 2007, 30 state governors. But you know, there are whispers all around saying that maybe there will be one more governor to join the rank. And people are pointing in the direction of Abia State. We don't know yet if that will happen. If it does happen, it will mean that it's a case of deja vu. What happened in 2007 is now happening in 2026, you know, leading to the election. Is it good for our politics? Does it mean that it's leading to a one-party state? Maybe a behemoth, maybe a dominant party, but we really can't argue that that would be a one-party state, given that there are other parties where you can, you know, contest on. ADC being a new one, for example. 2 new other parties have been approved by INEC. And then it's about governors joining the political party. It's not about citizens. You know, how citizens will vote will depend on what happens on election day, if the elections are free, fair, and credible. And the lead story itself, ADC rejects INEC's revised poll schedule, Alleges plot to edge out opposition. Body judge warns APC, electoral body, against malpractices. New timetable favors ruling party, Olawepo Ashim insists. And then CSOs express divergent views. I mean, no matter how you throw the dice, you know, there will be divergent views and different opinions as to the new timetable, which now means that the presidential election will happen in January, 16th of January, INEC says, and then the governorship election will be on the 6th of February because of Ramadan.
Right.
It doesn't look like we have more time for
any
other newspapers. We mentioned Guardian, more interesting stories on the cover of Punch, Telegraph, Vanguard. But I'm afraid that's where we'll leave the newspaper review for now. Before we wrap up, however, let's take a few minutes to remind you that the United States and Israel have earlier today launched coordinated missile attacks against the state of Iran. In response to that, in the last few minutes, sirens were sounded all throughout Israel with an advanced instruction alert directly to cellular devices to stay within proximity to protected spaces. Israel's defense forces say this is a proactive alert to prepare the public for the possibility of missiles being launched toward the state of Israel. The IDF emphasizes that the public is requested to stay in proximity to protected spaces. All right, and that brings us to the end of the morning show today. Thank you for watching, and do stay safe. I'm Steve Ayorinde.
And I'm Anyeza Osakwe. From our entire team here in Lagos, Nigeria, enjoy the rest of your morning and, of course, the rest of your day.